We have this image of prohibition and this image of what happened in our society before prohibition, that men were absolute animals, drinking whiskey like crazy, like they couldn't, it was a fountain coming from somewhere. They were guzzling whiskey and then going to beat their wives, or they were drinking away their salaries, and society was just, out of control because of whiskey. That's actually not true. It was sort of a viral concept. It was propaganda developed by women in the 1840s and 50s who had been a part of this religious movement called the Great Revival, that wanted to ban slavery, get universal education for women, and also just ban alcohol altogether because they considered alcohol a sin. And when it comes to the notion of men beating their wives and drinking themselves into a stupor, that was a very, very, very clever bit of propaganda that was fictionalized in a ladies' magazine called Godey's Ladies Book. It was kind of a lifestyle magazine, and it really lodged into the national consciousness. It was really expedient for them to propagate the idea that you would die if you touched alcohol. You would die, your family would die, and all of alcohol was, anybody who was involved in alcohol in any way had a certain devastating end. One of the early AA members, who allegedly was the first woman to get and stay sober for a long time, was a woman named Marty Mann. And she was in PR before she joined AA. And she knew how to get great press. She worked very closely with journalists. She worked very, very closely with a writer for the Saturday Evening Post that really drew attention to AA itself. She worked very closely with Hollywood producers and screenwriters to portray AA as the one and only way. And it really mimics our national narrative, our national Christian narrative, which is this: I was lost, I was blind, and now I can see. And that is very, very easy to portray on television. It's very dramatic, it's very powerful, and viewers can identify with that struggle, even though the narrative isn't true. It's just a story. In 2002, there was a study that compared, it was a meta-analysis of 361 different studies of treatment methods. And when they put them all together, I think in the end there were 46 different treatments that they ranked against each other. AA was 39.5 out of 46. The top one is first a behavioral intervention. The second one is, I believe, motivational enhancement. It's not saying you have to give up alcohol forever. You have to abstain for the rest of your life. You have a disease. It's not saying that. It's helping someone. It's recognizing that this is a behavior. In most cases, this is a behavior that can be changed.